Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your boy, the SeanDavieWay Show. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in and tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today, I bring you another surviving on Jay-Z. I think it's important to dive into the past. We've done that. This is what the survivings were birthed off of, bringing old Hollywood celebrity tea that we didn't know was true or was false. In today's surviving, I would like to talk about how Aaliyah's passing never set well with me. How I've always felt that Jay-Z and Beyonce may be connected to Aaliyah's passing. Now, I'm not stating that Jay-Z and Beyonce took her life, but I am stating that Jay-Z may have known that Aaliyah's life was going to be cut short. Both people had an axe to grind with Aaliyah, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. Before we get into that, let's get into how Jay-Z dated Aaliyah first, then dated Beyonce, a triple threat. The girl could sing, she could dance, and she can act. But that didn't make her the it girl that she was. Her personality did. Everyone loved Aaliyah. Well, not everyone. Beyonce is a megastar. That's something that we can never take away from her. She is global. But Aaliyah was first. Aaliyah was the type of female that there was no ceiling. Aaliyah could have done anything. Her acting grind was definitely getting bigger, and I feel that if Aaliyah was still alive today, that she would have stepped back from music, just like a Rihanna and on and so forth. I think Aaliyah's true bag was acting. She was a model. She had all type of brand deals. She's still getting brand deals in her death. So again, if that doesn't show you who's an it girl who was influential, nothing ever will. Matthew Knowles always set it up for Beyonce to come out on top as a solo artist. Destiny's Child was more so of a guinea pig to get her to where they were trying to push her to. If you think about the majority of the Destiny Child albums, Beyonce always sang lead, and when she didn't sing lead, she always sang on a song. There's really no song to where Beyonce doesn't have at least one verse. When that happens, it's definitely gearing the lead singer to become solo at some point in time. So the training wheels was Destiny's Child. They took the training wheels off so that Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter could be born. But that wasn't the only hiccup in the way for Beyonce being born. Aaliyah. Again, Aaliyah is a global star. She was global before she passed away. When you have an it girl that's on the scene, everybody aspires to be like her. Even the record labels will push artists to sound more like an artist that's hot or one that's popping, or they'll go look for a mini me. They'll go build a factory of other girls or boys to be able to compete with another label. So if Aaliyah was signed to Virgin Records and Beyonce was signed to Epic Records, then of course Aaliyah being huge, whoever signs Beyonce is going to try to push her to be Aaliyah-esque. In the industry, it's hard to push forward and be on top if you're not knocking someone from their spot. So, case in point, after Aaliyah passed away, Beyonce was pushed more so of the new, say much attention. They paid Destiny's Child a decent amount of attention, and of course Beyonce was the standout star in the group, but overall Aaliyah was plastered everywhere. Everyone wanted to be Aaliyah. Everyone was dressing up like Aaliyah. Everyone had the swoop, the sunglasses, the baggy clothes. It was pretty much just a cute girl in this group that we liked. That's pretty much it. Bills, bills, bills. The album Writing on the Wall. All of that stuff was great, but it did not compare to Aaliyah. Aaliyah was massive. So that's why when Aaliyah passed away, Beyonce became huge. She connected with Jay-Z, and we'll keep it pushing. Let's get into how I feel this rival started in the first place, which was between Jay-Z, Beyonce, Aaliyah, and Dame Dash. Everybody was trying to get at Aaliyah. Jay-Z tried really hard to date Beyonce's rival, but failed. The Princess of R&B, Aaliyah, sparked a love triangle so intense it nearly rewrote the soundtrack of Jay-Z and Beyonce's romance. August 25th, 2001 was a dark day for the music industry when the promising Princess of R&B passed away. As Aaliyah boarded a plane with 8 other people in the Bahamas, little did she know that was going to be her last day in this world. While the late singer did her own thing in the music industry, fans have been putting her up against Beyonce, questioning how the former's music would have impacted the latter's career. Side note, I would like to give my opinion on that. If Aaliyah was still alive, I think that Beyonce would still be a huge star. I do not think that it would have stunted Beyonce's growth. But I will say this. There wouldn't be nearly as many fans at a Beyonce concert that would be at an Aaliyah's concert. Here's why I think that. When Aaliyah passed away, all of her fans, including me, because I was a diehard Aaliyah fan, we were looking for a new home. And we felt lost after Aaliyah passed away. She was a real wave. She was an experience. She was a vibe. She was just so many different things. And we felt like we would never have another one. And we still don't. We've still never had another Aaliyah. And I think that that's what makes people so unique. We only get one. But we were hungry for music. We absolutely were. And we knew we weren't going to get anything else from her. So we had to adapt. And in adapting, we started adopting the newer singers that were out and some that were out prior to Aaliyah's passing, like Brandy and Monica, and on and so forth. So I believe that the reason Beyonce exploded so big when she came out with her solo project is because everyone was looking for a new home. So a lot of Aaliyah fans saw things in Beyonce that reminded us of Aaliyah. So it was easy for a lot of us to adapt to Beyonce and her music, her choreography and whatnot, because we were simply just looking for a new home. Aaliyah and Beyonce's style are completely different, even when it comes to dancing. Beyonce is more so of a full-out dance hard, and Aaliyah, it just came so effortlessly. It was so smooth. You just wanted to do what she was doing because she made it look so easy. And then when you stood up to try to do what she did, you realized, oh yeah, this is not as easy as Aaliyah made it look. So again, Beyonce's voice, powerful, and Aaliyah's voice, powerful, but in a different way. Very unique. Sade and Whitney Houston is how I would say like Beyonce and Aaliyah are. Aaliyah had a very beautiful, sultry, unique voice that captivated you immediately. And Beyonce's more so of that big, beautiful church voice that can also go down and hit a little slow jam if she needs to. So their styles were completely different. And that's why I feel like Beyonce still would have had her own lane and still been able to do her own thing because they were so different. Aaliyah had millions upon millions upon millions of fans. And with that being said, the majority of them went to Beyonce after Aaliyah passed away. If Aaliyah was still alive, being loyal, I don't think that people would dislike Beyonce and go with Aaliyah. I think that they would just love Aaliyah, but don't mind Beyonce, because that's how I was. I didn't have a problem with Beyonce. I love Beyonce, still do to this day, but I was definitely an Aaliyah fan. If both of them were performing on the same night, I would choose Aaliyah over and over and over and over again, because Aaliyah was simply just that girl. I don't think Beyonce would have been able to catapult how she did if Aaliyah was still alive during Beyonce's solo drop, because Aaliyah was already dropping an album at the same time of her passing, and the album was coming out, and she had 2 movies she was working on, including the Matrix trilogy. So Aaliyah was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and Beyonce's debut would not have been as large if Aaliyah was still alive, because I don't even feel like Matthew Knowles felt comfortable with Beyonce starting a solo career while Aaliyah was alive. I think he pushed it and gunned for that position once he seen that she was gone, because again, Aaliyah was beloved. So to end and move back on into the article, I think Beyonce would still be big, but Aaliyah would be bigger. Back to Fandom Wire. While the internet is divided on the topic, there is one thing the 2 singers had in common apart from the R&B genre: Jay-Z. When Aaliyah was riding the waves of her well-deserved fame, every man in the industry wanted to be by her side, including Jay-Z, apparently. At least, that's what her former lover, Damon Dash, has stated. Was Jay-Z into Aaliyah before marrying Beyonce? There isn't much known about Aaliyah's love life. Of course, there's the horrifying marriage between her and R. Kelly, which took place when she was only 15 years old. Later, she started dating Damon Dash, Jay-Z's business partner at Rockefeller, in 2000, and the couple were together until her tragic passing. In an interview with Page Six, Dash stated that Jay-Z tried very hard to impress Aaliyah, all while Dash himself was pining for her. He stated that the two of them were going hard to win her heart, just like everyone else. In his words, Dame's quote, "I did not mean to fall in love with Aaliyah. She was just that cool. But we were both going hard. Everybody was trying to get Aaliyah. It was not just Jay." He admitted that he didn't know his business partner was also trying to holler at her. Dash said, "I did not know Jay was trying to holler at her, but then it just happened like that. He was trying, I was trying, everybody was trying. He was going hard." Side note, Dame Dash is a bald-headed lie. How do you go from saying that you had no idea that Jay-Z was trying to get at Aaliyah, but both of you were trying to get at Aaliyah and everybody else was trying to get at Aaliyah, but you had no idea that Jay was trying to get at Aaliyah? Yeah, you're a liar. You went after Aaliyah, Dame Dash, to piss Jay-Z off. Jay-Z was undermining you. Jay-Z was making business moves and whatnot without you, in love with Aaliyah. He had been courting her for over a year. And that's something that Dame Dash always leaves out. He went behind Jay-Z's back and started dating Aaliyah. Aaliyah and Dame Dash were not in a serious relationship at first, and neither was Aaliyah and Jay-Z. They were just simply dating. They weren't coupled up. They weren't going around Hollywood or anywhere else telling people that they were in a relationship. No, they were simply courting each other. Aaliyah did not mind Jay-Z. I think that Aaliyah probably would have ended up going strong with him, but she saw more of Dame Dash because Dame Dash did that deliberately. He deliberately sought after her because he knew that there was something building and growing between Aaliyah and Jay-Z. Let's keep going. As for how he himself fell in love with the queen of urban pop, he stated that the Aaliyah he fell for wasn't the one people saw on their screens. He simply developed strong feelings for her after hanging out with her. As far as Dash is concerned, the version of her was different than the Aaliyah on the TV screen. Clearly, the co-founder of Rockefeller was head over heels for the girl. Did Dame Dash steal Aaliyah from Jay-Z? While Dash stated that he wasn't aware of Jay-Z allegedly pining for Aaliyah's heart, producer Choke No Joke tells a different story. In an interview with Hype, he was asked if Dash and Jay-Z drifted apart because of Aaliyah, and he replied that was only 50% of it. He stated that Jay was with Aaliyah first, and that he had seen the two attend parties together. Then, Choke No Joke states that Dash backdoored his way in and shot his shot knowing that Jay-Z was interested in her. As per him, Jay-Z didn't want to be public with Aaliyah, and that's the opening Dash saw and took the opportunity to get in her head. Choke No Joke also alleged that Dash came for Beyonce too, which really pissed Jay-Z off. Side note, at the time Jay-Z was dating Aaliyah, Aaliyah was 20 years old and Jay-Z was 29. Aaliyah had a lot of energy around her from the whole R. Kelly situation. Were they or weren't they? So I think Jay-Z was really nervous about coming forward stating that he was dating Aaliyah when she was much younger than him. And I don't think that he wanted people to side-eye him and kind of look at him in an R. Kelly type of fashion when he didn't feel that that was the energy he was trying to give. He felt like he saw a beautiful girl. He wanted her. He was seeking her, but he wanted to give her some time before they went public. So Jay-Z saw less of Aaliyah, which gave Dame Dash an opening to go after her. But Dame made Jay-Z make Aaliyah basically look like a HOE. And why I say that is because people feel like Aaliyah was sleeping with Jay-Z and Dame Dash at the same time. No, that is not what was going on. Jay-Z was courting Aaliyah. They were talking, they would see each other, go to parties and events and stuff together, while Dame Dash was backdooring the situation, taking Aaliyah out on dates, inviting her to his homes, inviting her to lavish P. Diddy parties, etc., and trying to sweep her off of her feet while Jay-Z was still courting her. So at that time, Aaliyah could do what she wanted to do. She's a single girl. Like, I can date whoever I want. If I want to date two dudes, I'm going to date two dudes. There's nothing wrong with that. But it was put in the media as if she was sleeping with the both of them, and that is not true. What Jay-Z was truly looking for at that moment in time was a female R&B artist, a huge artist, to basically partner with and do a Bonnie and Clyde type of situation. So that's what he was gearing Aaliyah up for. He was gearing Aaliyah up to go public with her as working together musically, just how R. Kelly did. That's why I believe Jay-Z was nervous, because R. Kelly had huge success partnering with Aaliyah. And Jay-Z wanted to do the same thing, but he wanted to do it from a rap perspective instead of a singing, collaborating perspective, how R. Kelly did. Again, R. Kelly's a singer, Jay-Z is a rapper. So at that time, that's what Jay-Z was doing. He was preparing Aaliyah not only to be his girlfriend, but preparing her to go public and preparing to try to do like a joint album or a bunch of collaborations with her to get his music off of the ground. Again, Jay-Z was one of the biggest artists at that time, rap-wise, and he was trying to go to the next level. So he was looking for a female. He had his eye on Maya, he had his eye on Aaliyah, and he also had his eye on Beyonce. Who he chose was Aaliyah. Back to the fandom article. Dame was trying to shoot at Beyonce too, and that was it for Jay. Like, damn, you took Aaliyah, like you shooting at this one. As for Dash, he is currently engaged to movie producer Raquel Horn. I stated earlier in The Surviving that Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce with Aaliyah. That is very true. Let's get into that. Beyonce and Jay-Z started dating between the year 2000 and 2001, but he originally met Beyonce when she was 17 in the group Destiny's Child. When Jay-Z first met Beyonce was in 1999, and that is the same year he was dating Aaliyah. He started courting Aaliyah the year of 1999 throughout the entire year. Beyonce didn't truly come into the picture until 2000, when it was known to where Jay-Z had his eye on her. And then Jay-Z's rival, Dame Dash, went through the back door and started trying to date Aaliyah behind Jay-Z's back by telling Aaliyah simple things like, oh, he really ain't feeling you like that. He ain't spending time with you like that. I am, yada, yada. And Aaliyah kind of fell for the okie doke and started dating Dame Dash, and they went public the year 2000. The issue came in is that Aaliyah did not cut ties with Jay-Z at that moment in time. So Jay-Z was still courting Aaliyah while Aaliyah was dating Dame Dash. This is why I stated earlier that when they first got together, Aaliyah and Dame Dash, it was not serious. Not at the beginning, no. They were just simply hanging out. So you'd see Aaliyah at a party with Jay-Z, and then you look up and see Aaliyah on a red carpet with Dame Dash. In my opinion, Beyonce lied about when her and Jay-Z actually got together and started dating. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. Shout out to People Magazine. The former Destiny's Child star previously told 17 that they met when she was 18, which would have been between September of 1999 and August of 2000. I'm going to have to call bull on that, and here's why. The pair began dating when Beyonce was 19 after getting to know each other. Her quote, "We were friends for a year and a half before we went on any dates." She later told Oprah Winfrey in an OWN interview. Side note, that would have made Beyonce 17 and a half when her and Jay-Z started talking. Jay-Z was pushing 30 at the time. What does a 17-year-old and a 30-year-old have to talk about? Again, some people state that Jay-Z groomed Beyonce, and I can't deny that. And the reason why I can't do it is because Beyonce admitted herself that she basically started talking to Jay-Z when she was 17 and a half. She said they spoke for a year and a half before they went on any dates. Not, I was 19 and we went on dates for a year and a half and we started dating and when I was 21 or when I was 22. Yeah, no, that's not true. Because that very next year, they went public. Beyonce was only 20 years old. the same age Aaliyah was when Jay-Z started courting her. Back to the year and a half, Beyonce first met Jay-Z again in 1999. So after they met, when she was in the group Destiny's Child, is when Jay-Z pretty much switched numbers, exchanged information, and they started speaking while he was dating Aaliyah. Beyonce said when her and Jay-Z first started talking, she had to cut him off. She never stated why she cut him off. Well, let me be the one to tell you. She cut Jay-Z off because he was dating Aaliyah. Beyonce found out that Jay-Z and Aaliyah were dating each other, stating how he wanted to be with Beyonce and how much he really liked her and thought how talented she was. Whole time, he was seeing Aaliyah. Remember, this all happened the year of 1999. That is the whole year that Jay-Z dated Aaliyah. So he started courting Beyonce at that point in time as well. And I feel the reason why Jay-Z started courting Beyonce is because he kept seeing Dame Dash and Aaliyah with one another. So now it's just this huge mess at this point. And Jay-Z had his eye on the prize. Jay-Z again was looking for an R&B artist, more so R&B/pop artist, to bring up the charts with him. He wanted it to be Aaliyah. But when Aaliyah separated from him and went to Dame Dash, that is when all of a sudden Beyonce became good enough to be said artist that rocks his chain. Because that was always supposed to be Aaliyah's spot. It was never supposed to be Beyonce. But Beyonce had been a huge fan of Jay-Z's music, of her some Jay-Z. So she was all for being the it girl that was going to link with Jay-Z. The only problem was, which kept becoming a problem, Aaliyah. Publicly, you would think that Beyonce and Aaliyah were cool, but there's this throwback interview of the VMAs where Beyonce interviews Aaliyah, and people try to use that as the proof that Beyonce and Aaliyah were fine. I think it shows the opposite. Aaliyah's energy in the interview is given like, why are you talking to me? Aaliyah's a very sweet girl, but we all have, you know, people that we like and people that we don't necessarily care for. And at that point, her and Aaliyah were not arguing over Jay-Z, but Aaliyah was courting Jay-Z, and then all of a sudden Beyonce is dating him. We get information late. So to us, we had no idea that Beyonce and Jay-Z were pretty much a couple already. But the Hollywood insiders and the other celebrities that hang out at parties and stuff like that, they knew that Beyonce and Jay-Z were already a thing. So that means that Aaliyah knew that they were already a thing too. I think that Aaliyah liked Jay-Z, but Jay-Z wasn't giving her the proper energy for her to have stronger feelings for him. So it was more of platonic at that point in time than romantic. But it doesn't mean that Aaliyah did not have feelings for him. And Beyonce definitely knew that Jay-Z was courting Aaliyah. So there could have been some underlying or undertone to Aaliyah's energy because she's smiling, she's always smiling, and she's a beautiful girl. But it didn't give the energy that she gives with other people that were interviewing her. It gives awkward. And then with Beyonce, what I think that this interview shows is that Beyonce aspired to be like Aaliyah again. The stars are getting interviewed. The interviewers were the up and coming. So Beyonce at that point in time, she was lifting off, but she was nowhere near Aaliyah's atmosphere. Aaliyah passed away on Saturday, August 25th, 2001, around 6:45 p.m. After wrapping filming for Aaliyah's Rock the Boat music video in the Bahamas, the singer and her crew planned to return to the U.S. the same day. The New York Times reported that the changed charter plane company was changed at the last minute, downsizing the aircraft's weight limit. You know what else happened in 2001? November, a few months after Aaliyah passed, Beyonce and Jay-Z appeared on Vanity Fair public as a couple. This was the first time everyone knew for sure that Beyonce and Jay-Z were in a relationship. Why wait until after Aaliyah's passing? Y'all had already been dating. Why not say something prior? Then Dame Dash calls Aaliyah and rushes her back to the States from the Bahamas. Again, the charter company switched the flight at the last minute, but it was due to Aaliyah's request. Aaliyah requested to go right back to the United States and get back there as soon as possible because Dame Dash had important information that Aaliyah needed to hear. Unfortunately, she never arrived. I wonder why. Let's dive into that. Dame Dash alleges later on that he was mad at Hype Williams because Hype Williams is the one that got the charter plane that was too small, and that he talked to Aaliyah and Aaliyah before she left the Bahamas. And Aaliyah said that she didn't like the plane, that it was too small, she didn't want to get on it. And Dame says that he told Aaliyah not to get on the plane. And then Aaliyah allegedly said to Dame, well, I have to because I have work to do when I get back. That is not true. Dame is lying. Originally, Dame Dash was about to get caught. He was dating Rachel Roy the entire time he was with Aaliyah. He was dating Aaliyah and Rachel Roy at the same time. Rachel Roy was about to go public that her and Dame Dash were still in a relationship because they have children together, etc. And he wanted to talk to Aaliyah about it, allegedly, before it was in the mainstream media and all of that, about him allegedly having this fiance, Rachel Roy, while he's dating Princess of R&B, Aaliyah. Allegedly, Jay-Z was having Rachel Roy come forward because Jay-Z, allegedly, was sleeping with Rachel Roy to get back at Dame Dash. So, Jay-Z and Beyonce being in a relationship at the time, why would Beyonce not know about all of this stuff too? So, was Jay-Z responsible, and partially responsible, I should say, and Beyonce partially responsible, knowing that something was not right with the situation with Aaliyah getting on that plane and coming back here to the United States immediately? Aaliyah passes away as she's rushed on a last-minute change with a flight that she should have never been on. None of those people should have been on that charter. And to come to find out that the man that was flying the plane was on DRUGS. It's like, did he have to take that to do what he was going to do, to nosedive the plane? Because the plane didn't go far before it hit the ground. So it does seem more of deliberate. It doesn't give this was an accident. It gives this was done on purpose. You know, there was too much weight on there. The plane was a small plane, so it shouldn't have been more than like 5 people on there, 4 to 5 people on there, including luggage, not 8 people plus luggage. It gives deliberate. Nothing about that gives this was on accident. And then again, the captain was flying the plane was on DRUGS of the line of all of the girls. Jay-Z helped her do that by them coming together and creating something new, a rap, hip-hop, pop, R&B duo is what they did with Bonnie and Clyde, and on and so forth. Aaliyah had that on lock. Aaliyah did the movie Romeo Must Die with artist DMX, and they did a song Back in One Piece, and everyone loved Aaliyah's and DMX's chemistry. If they would have made an album, everyone would have been here for it. There were 2 of the biggest artists in the industry at the time doing a collaboration, and not only a collaboration, also doing a movie together. Everybody liked them together. The problem, DMX was married, and Aaliyah was like a best friend, little sister, to DMX. He was very protective over Aaliyah, and she was very protective over him. But everyone loved their chemistry. They loved the music video, and that was dominating at that time. So that was the energy that Jay-Z was pushing for. He wanted to do that with Aaliyah, not Beyonce. So in order to have that same energy and same chemistry, they had to get rid of Aaliyah. If you jump to Bonnie and Clyde, look at what Beyonce's wearing. Definitely gives Aaliyah-esque. Baggy clothes, but still has on like more so like a sexy top, a red lip. It was definitely giving Aaliyah, wearing a hat and all of that. That was Aaliyah's swag. That is what Jay-Z was doing, creating a new Aaliyah. But you can't do that while she still exists. So them announcing their breakup after Aaliyah passed away makes sense. And it was also extremely profitable because everyone, all of Aaliyah's fans, were looking for a new home. And here you come with Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's very so much giving DMX, Aaliyah type of swag. Beyonce even calmed her vocals like Aaliyah does in the song Bonnie and Clyde and stuff like that. So that's what Jay-Z was creating. When I said announcing their breakup, in July of 2001, Beyonce was stating that her and Jay-Z were not together. So I believe that they had broken up. Mighty convenient that they break up in July, Aaliyah passes away in August, and then they announce that they're back together publicly doing fashion magazines and whatnot 2 months after she passes away. To me, that's not a coincidence. It's very eerie and it's weird. Speaking of eerie and weird, Beyonce did Carmen the Hip Hopper, which was a movie that was done on BET back in the day, featuring Mekhi Phifer, Rah Digga, and many others. Beyonce had a very interesting shirt on during an interesting scene during the movie. Beyonce's character finds out using tarot cards and whatnot that she's going to pass away, that she's not going to live. As soon as they flipped that card, pretty much Beyonce's time was ticking, her character's time was ticking, Carmen, in that movie. Beyonce had on a very specific shirt. That shirt was a shirt that Aaliyah had loved. Aaliyah wore that shirt often, and I think she had multiple ones because she's shown in multiple photographs in this shirt. This is the same shirt that marks Beyonce's character, which was young, Carmen, younger than Aaliyah's death. And then Carmen passes in the movie. Aaliyah passes. I'm just going to show you the clip. You tell me what you think. Is that eerie or what? To me, that is so eerie and weird. But this is just part one. We will be back with part two so I can explain more things about surviving Jay-Z. Did Beyonce and Jay-Z have Aaliyah taken out? I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back for part two. I love you all. Please like the video. Please like the video. Please like the video and subscribe if you have not already. There are way more survivings that are about to be cranked out. So make sure you're tuned in. Until the next one. Bye.